Hello, welcome. Very nice to be here again to have a little time to spend with you. So, would you just start by taking a breath and kind of being here? We're going to play today, kind of following up where Steve Rother set it in motion last week. And so it's really about sitting on this park bench. This park bench was created to bring everybody into an agreement, bring everybody into a place individually where you begin to see kind of your own truths, your own needs, your own wants, your own desires, your own creations. So this period of time that we're playing in is really quite exceptional. We're going to talk about time and we're going to talk about cycles of creation. And then we're going to use those applications to kind of further create this environment that we're building this new realm from. So one breath, if you would, and just kind of notice yourself, sit back. Last week, Steve, in the observer, that aspect of consciousness that he plays with, that channels, talked about observation. The observer came in to talk about observation. And this point of observation is really pretty critical in a way. useful, valuable, however you wish to define it, in really determining where am I and where am I going and what is it that I'm engaged in the moment. So the observer talked about how to choose and then act from your observation. But there's another little segment that sits right in there before choose and act, and it's really pause. It's just simply pausing, taking a breath, stepping back, pausing, observing, choosing. Now, one of the reasons that is becoming more and more valuable, because it's simple to start with, is in this shifting of that third dimensional space that we've been playing with into this octave, into this fifth dimensional space. It's really a very simple space. It doesn't require a lot of complication. And it also is beginning to provide you with some interesting awarenesses that you may or may not have been aware of, and you may be tripping over at the same time. What I mean by that is we don't think in the same place all the time. Now, it's not in the brain, it's not in the chakras, it's not in the auric field, it's all of those and different places. So thinking is a choice as far as how and where you wish to think and how you wish to utilize what you have at your disposal to think from. So again, one more breath, if you would. And so one of the pieces that's useful is to recognize how Steve started last week, how he set it in motion, how he kind of worked it into a particular place to bring your attention to a very specific point of awareness. He does that very successfully. Now, though, one of the things that's happening is you are beginning to have an experience with aspects of your capacity to observe, choose, configure what it is you want, observe from different places to see how what you want comes together. And so, for example, you're beginning to turn on what people might call psychic abilities, spiritual abilities, those natural intuitions that we all bump into at different points in life. Some of us use them very well, some of us deny them very well, but the reality is you're starting to have access to them in bigger ways. One of those skill sets that you're beginning to bump into is telepathy. And there's two types of telepathy. One is a narrow band telepathy. That's the one where you look at somebody and you kind of know what they're thinking. Or you look at somebody and you finish their sentences. You simply move with somebody. It's a skill set that you develop if you have siblings growing up or your best friend, where you just look at each other and you're both thinking the exact same thing and you turn right and you move towards the direction you're going. That set is beginning to turn on. You're beginning to know things before you have typically known things. That's just happening. It's not something you're going to manage unless you deny it. But basically, as this shift unfolds, you're beginning to be aware using that skill set of narrowband telepathy. There's another aspect of telepathy. It's a use that playing right here that I use is broadband telepathy. It's the ability to talk in pictures, in sound, in form, in presentation, in a way where you talk to a large audience of people. You don't get constricted into just one person or the other. And for some, that's going to be confusing, because that's the word we use quite often when we bump into something and, I don't know what to do, third dimension. But as this aspect of this shift begins to open up, this transformation that we're all playing in right now begins to present itself, and you get more and more quiet, present, aware, we'll play there in a moment, you begin to start to recognize that you are knowing many things. It's as you go from this third dimension, oh, I'm confused, I'm not sure what to do, I don't know how to put it together. That's what we run into when we simply find something that doesn't fit how we think. And remember, we think in different places, but if you've basically constructed yourself to where you think in one place and everything else gets confusing, third dimension, you're going to be real confused. So we're really wanting to say ahead of time, this is pretty exciting stuff. As you move into well-being, joy, excitement, happy, that whole aspect, as you begin to choose an action, as you begin to allow pause to between observation and choosing an action, you're going to start to find that you are experiencing awarenesses that may be presenting differently than you've experienced before. And so this aspect of your opening of the ability to use your intuition, use your psychic abilities, use your skill set, whichever wish you call that, you're going to begin to find in that pause, it begins to have an and. It's not, oh, this doesn't work and I'm confused. It's like, this is interesting. And pause. I can allow for a moment to look at what's going on around me and realize, oh, there's another piece to put into the puzzle. It's those puzzle pieces that are beginning to present themselves very comfortably when allowed. So where the observer was talking last week about beginning to observe, and I'm just simply adding this concept of pause. Just take a breath, allow for a moment, and then step into choosing an action. This is something that's happening. It's not something that you need to work at. It's not something that you need to think about, but it does happen in a state of balance. And so when you begin to allow that pause, you're really beginning to give yourself permission to allow yourself to experience yourself as you choose. This state of well-being, this creation of this new realm, this aspect of simply balance, joy, ease, excitement, begins to open up an awareness into what's my purpose? What am I doing here? And the purpose piece is really so overrated because it just falls into place. As you allow these intuitions to present, it begins to be, oh, I think I'll just do this. And that flow begins to happen, and that excitement begins to be validated, and then repeat and do it again. So another breath, if you would. This park bench is beginning to be very widely recognized on an energetic level. People are starting to find themselves, whether they're conscious of it or not, pausing. They're simply stepping back before they leap into what used to be and may still be that third dimensional game board that said shoot, ready, aim. The game board that basically says this is the conditionality, this is the rules, this is what you have to do. And it's never really felt right for many people. We've tried to fit in, but fitting in doesn't feel right on other people's terms. So another breath, if you would. So one of the things that's happening right here is I just started talking. I didn't even really say, hello, nice to see you, happy to have you here. This is great. How are you doing? I just started talking. Now, I do that often, but in this case, it was very intentional. See, all I did with that broadband capacity is said, look over here. And you did. And here we are, right over here. But if you take another breath and you just sit back and allow yourself to be right here, right now, doesn't matter what we're saying. It's just simply, would you take a breath, be right here, close your eyes if you'd like. And so here's the key point. Would you be right here? Now see, that be right here statement is about bringing my attention point to where I choose to place my attention point. Another breath. Now, for some at first, this gets challenging because there's a lot of noise in our head, and I'm supposed to do it this way. On these layers of thought, there is no supposed to. They're just simply one layer of thought presents in a certain capacity to absorb information, and another one presents in a different capacity to absorb information. It's like trying to do something that includes figuring something out, mathematics. Sometimes you use algebra, sometimes you use calculus, sometimes you just add 1 and 1 and get 2. Take another breath. So right here, would you give yourself permission to allow yourself? Just allow yourself. Now, where we're setting up this layer of thought, this presentation, this awareness, this attention point, it's in this new realm of creation. It's like going to a great amusement park and having no responsibility except to enjoy yourself. Would you find the feeling of well-being? Kind of however you define that. And then would you bring your attention to your crown chakra? Crown chakra, right at the top of the head. And would you direct it to be at sky blue? That sky blue. It's like just kind of allow yourself to look up at that blue sky. You've done that hundreds of times. And take a breath and relax. Sky blue. And would you notice that all of the thousands of people that are going to listen to and are listening to this are at sky blue also? Community, in a manner of speaking, but more specifically, agreement. The creation of an attention point in agreement. Comfortable, relaxed. And would you be right in the center of your head, right behind your eyes, and would you be present? And would you give yourself permission to relax and be in ease? Ease. There's no stress, there's no work, there's nothing to push against. I'm just simply going to be in a state of ease, relaxed, comfortable. And I have an intention to allow myself to begin to experience this new realm of consciousness that we're creating, begin to live in this new realm of consciousness that I am creating, we are creating. And would you recognize that the architecture that is required to hold an environment, hold a state of consciousness, is very much in place? You've been extraordinarily successful at creating the architecture of this new realm, the ability to step over here and begin to experience telepathy, clairvoyance, transmediumship, multiple different aspects of your intuitions that naturally work in ease. And as you bring your attention point into this aspect of well-being, what is that for you? Joy, happy, excitement, success, comfortable, appreciation, gratitude, respect, dignity, engagement with others, reflecting back to myself what I am. That was a simple one, but deep, simple one. You mean simply when I am in respect, gratitude, appreciation, excitement, happy, I'm enjoying myself. I simply am giving others a reflection to enjoy themselves, to simply then reflect back to me to enjoy myself. And it's a flow, it moves, it ebbs and it flows, and it fits right into a cycle. I like me. Kind of notice that point of attention, I like me. And there's a smile that comes along with I like me. Now, if you notice, we just shifted, in this context, really a state of awareness. We could call it a state of thinking, but a state of awareness, because in this state of awareness, we just moved away from thinking 1 + 1 = 2 into a space where multiple opportunities present. I wish well-being in hundreds, thousands, millions of reflective thought is presented. That thought of all of those others that simply recognize ease, well-being, and there's an opportunity to see yourself in a manner that you had not possibly seen yourself before. You see, we're opening up a realm of thought, if you would, this new environment, this new realm, that in this word well-being, you don't have fear, anger, resentment, judgment. They don't exist here. In this raised vibrational field, this octave, comfortable, relaxed, I have permission to allow myself to choose. Now, period. There's nothing else that follows that. There's no condition. There's no, my mother wouldn't like this. There is no follow through of the third dimensional game that says, I have to go to them to get permission to be okay. Now, another breath, and would you just really pay attention? Nice, smooth inhale, leading into a nice, smooth exhale. And would you notice that in this space that we're sitting in, we've just brought attention to that octave. It's whole jump, a whole leap above the third dimensional game. It vibrates very differently, and it does not hold that attention point of the third dimension. I'm okay. I like myself. Different layer of thought. Now, again, just kind of notice I'm present, I'm quiet, I'm aware. I like me. That's right there also. I like me. Now, would you feel the feeling of I like me? Comfortable, relaxed. Now, I'm very aware, right behind my eyes, in the Sacred Heart, right here, they're the same thing. One vibrational attention point. Now here, if you'll just, I like me, everything that has been in that linear time limitation of the third dimensional game, past, present, future. But here, no past, present, future. Here is right now. So one of the first adjustments in the 5 aspects of present time, how present time presents, 5 different ways. That linear one, where I have to rely on them in the past, not so much, not here. Still exists, but not here. Another breath. Can you give yourself permission to allow yourself to be right here? And then would you notice right here, and without any real movement, I could go back to 3D, wherever I was, but I'm right here. You see, this right here is a different aspect of time. And you're right here. Now, keep it very simple. In this transition, this shifting from what has been to what will be, it's very much like a wavelength. It is a wavelength. It flows up and then back down, and then back up and then back down. And the interesting part along that is there are 2 waves. One wave flows around you in a clockwise manner, and one wave flows around you in a counterclockwise manner. But just like the presentation of the DNA cell structure is that kind of revolving, but one goes up and one goes down. One goes around left, one goes around right. One is ascending, one is descending. The ascending ones are opening, excitement, expansion, possibility, and the descending ones are not bad at all. They are just simply allowing for what was to begin to not be anymore. It begins to, there's a tremendous radiation of this descending wave. It expands. It actually allows for experience. It's not good or bad. But the wave pulses up and it pulses down. You could look at it like time. Time flows, we'll say for the moment, using one of these, forward. And time also flows on the other one backward, or there is no forward or back. It moves in this direction, moves in that direction. No good, bad, no right, wrong, no direction. Another breath. But what's really interesting about this is that ascending and descending aligns. In a way, if you took a clock face, old clocks that were round, and said 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, that real old thing. The wave is like that. It starts to rise up, and it starts from 6. We'll call that the 0 point at the very bottom of the clock. And it starts to be, I have an idea, I have a thought, I would like to. And it begins to move, and it begins to form the ascending wave. I wish to create, and it begins to form, and it doesn't quite hang together, but you keep thinking, I think I'd like to try this. I think I'd like to try well-being, you say. And all of a sudden, it begins to be magnetic, or it begins to attract. It's electricity. It begins to condense. It begins to be form. It begins to be an idea. It begins to be a possibility. And it's kind of takes time, and it works a little bit because it's time. But right about 10 o'clock, it's like, okay, we got the party together. We got all the pieces together. It's going to happen in a couple hours. All these people are going to come to play at my house. The breath. And about 10 o'clock, it's like, we're on 10 on the clock. It begins to be exciting. This is really happening. I'm creating this. And it starts to happen. And people show up to your party. And the party is exciting and it's fun. And right about 12 o'clock, it's at peak. Everybody is in joy. And then it begins to descend. And some go home and some linger, and the party begins to wind down. And along about 2 o'clock, it's kind of over. But you have to come back tomorrow to clean the table and the house. And so what was, became, existed, experienced, and then began to wind down. See, that's what this third dimensional game has been about. Winding down, winding down. So, but that ascending wave and that descending wave are always in perfect balance. When the ascending wave is at the peak of the party at 12, the descending wave is at 0 and the inertia. Nothing's in the way. Nothing's interfering. Here it's neutral, giving way to the excitement of the creation. No, we're talking about you. We're talking about how you create and how this new realm, with its intuitions, spiritual abilities, psychic tools, psychic capacities, all that aspect of me that I have not been able to be in connection with in that third dimensional point, well, that's all falling away, and this ascending curve is beginning to rise, and it's very exciting, very exciting. But in a way, we're right at that point where maybe we're at the 9 and the 3 on the clock. It's one is happening and one is kind of falling away. Maybe we're a little bit more. Maybe we're kind of approaching the 10 and the 4. And there's an excitement here to be had, if allowed. Another breath. Now right here, neutral, present, quiet, aware, and with no engagement. I'm being in neutral. Oh, I'm right here between that 9 and 10. It's something exciting's happening. And yet over here, something's falling away. I'm not quite sure. Perfect balance. One is expanding, one is contracting. There's no bad or good. Now, right here, would you be your own observer? And would you be in that pause moment, getting ready to choose to act? But right here in the pause, And here there's another aspect of time that is really fun to play with if you just simply allow it to be exactly what it's defined to be. This time, well, for lack of definition, we're just going to call it a fourth aspect of time. There are other aspects of time. There's circular time. There's simultaneous time, where everything is happening right now. Those are both very readily available to you from this place where we're sitting. But this fourth aspect of time makes both of those circular and simultaneous time so much easier to engage with, because right here, this fourth aspect of time allows you to put everything on the table in neutral. Neutral. No good, no bad, no right, no wrong, nothing broken, nothing ever done out of alignment. Just simply a space of neutral. And it has a little bit of joy attached to it and excitement attached to it, but yet it's very neutral. In this fourth aspect of time, I think we touched on it once before, is where everything is on the table, and it works in a very specific way. It basically says, what do you want? What would you like to experience? How would you like to play at this next part of you? Another breath right here. Now, would you just put your attention right into this fourth aspect of time? It's as if you've got a table in front of you, and everything that's ever been with you and ever will be with you is just laying right on that table. But you have an intention, and you wish to create. Now, see, right here in that wishing to create, I would like to experience excitement, a joy, happy, comfortable, success. Just simply that alignment of, I wish to step into this new realm, the environment, creating an environment that allows me to be comfortable, certain, capable, very clear, respectful, have dignity, kindness, appreciation. The environment of this new realm where I can enjoy myself in these aspects of the environment and reflect to all others the opportunity to see themselves in this environment also. Would that be an interesting wanting? Well, we're creating a new realm, so I wish to see an environment of beauty and joy and ease, well-being, respect, dignity, kindness, gratitude, appreciation, laughter, smiling. Can you feel it? Please, would you feel it? And see, this feeling and this wanting and this excitement, allowing permission to create as a creator being that I am. Oh, there's nothing complicated about it. That's the part here, this fourth aspect. When you place your attention right on what you want, everything unlike that wavelength falls away. Just becomes neutral, goes back into inertia. It's simply there to be chosen at another time, but not this time. This time, there it is again, excitement and joy. Yeah, well, you got it. You got it. Another breath. Now just kind of feel it, because it begins to be now in that flow. It begins to open up. It begins to present. It's like, whoa, we could do this also. And then here's another piece we could do. And pretty soon it's this total flow in present time where you hold out your hand and the apple appears. Or you get so excited about the party, and then the party's happening, and then there it is, and I'm excited. And there's nothing else in the way of your creation. Do you feel your success? Just kind of notice it. It's an excitement. It's a kind of maybe a smile from inside. I like me. Smile. And see, right here in that smile, and as to what I want, you begin to move in that spiral. It gets more clear. You're moving to that 10 o'clock point, towards the top of the wave. In the descending portion, that third dimensional piece, well, it's just simply moving into a place where it's no longer necessary. No good or bad, it's just not necessary. I choose to act in this attention point. Now, another breath. And in this space, would you just sit here we're not moving from this space. This is the creation of the environment of this new realm. Can you recognize that we're weaving it into the architecture? We're beginning to bring it from possibility into experience. We're moving from, I like this, into this is what I'm experiencing. The party has started. I have many sitting here attending the party at this sky blue attention point. An agreement. We're all in agreement right here. Now, the interesting thing about this, or one of the many interesting things, is this is 100% for me, 100%. And just by giving yourself this into a 100% space, it reverberates, it vibrates, it shines, it reflects to others 100% of who they are. And now it gets very exciting because everybody at the parties being 100% of who they are, it presents many aspects that, I never thought of that. Never saw this before. Wow, that tastes really good. I've never had one of those. How would you just feel? And then what you notice is, see, this is the clairvoyant part. Everybody's clairvoyant, been that way all your life. But would you just kind of notice the image of that party for yourself? Or maybe feel the smile and then look in the mirror. The smile comes back, but look in the mirror. I like me. This is working. I'm enjoying this environment sitting here on my park bench. But let's go see what's more other possibilities. What else is there? Let's explore this environment. Feels very pleasant. Let's just go for a walk right here. Get up off that park bench. And as we kind of walk along this path, there's a creek, and flowers, blue sky, comfortable temperature. Nice time of year. People walking by you, talking, enjoying themselves. Hello, you say. They smile back. Hello. Kind of be on this walk right here. And as you begin to walk along this, the elevation begins to change. The comfortableness begins to expand. I'm relaxed. And there begins to be a feeling, a sense of ownership, a sense of this joy, happy. Kind of notice because it's in a different thought realm. Remember, we think in different places, we feel in different places. And depending on how we construct the thought, that feeling begins to both drive the next thought and the next feeling. So would you find that feeling that's kind of exciting as I walk along, smile at people? You see, right here, this is that point which actually is right on that line, right where the 9 and the 3 are, the 9 and the 3. Am I going to let myself enjoy, laugh, be pleased with myself right here? Am I going to step into it and allow myself, give myself permission to smile, to see beauty? Right here. See, you're right here. This is the moment where you step into and own, begin to become much more familiar with this layer of thought that has no restrictions. No restrictions. Or am I going to simply say, well, that would be nice, but right here, can you feel that joy? Just right there, can you step? Really, it's kind of like a line. And the interesting thing about this line is I own this step. I step into this. Yes, this is what I want. Joy, ease, beauty, laughter, friends, people that I'm really comfortable with, that I enjoy. Would you feel it? Because as you step across that line no longer exists to go back from this moment. You've been in places like this before where you've made decisions. This is what I'm going to do. And at that moment, there was no going back to something else. You were in motion. You see, this is this ascending wave that basically is beginning to elevate. And the fascinating thing about it is it begins to be a vortex of energy that opens and expands and begins to go faster and begins to have more access, more awareness, more remembering, more knowing myself. I like me. I can have permission to allow myself to like me. And it feels good. Yeah, see here, right here, we're still in that fourth aspect of time. And as you begin to say, this is what I want, that's what we're doing. This is what I want. Everything, third dimensionally, the noise, everything, whatever there was there, is no longer there. And you can go back, you can work at it, but you've done this before. It's like you find a new truth, really, really tough to go back and relive that old truth. You see, that's what you're doing. Simply beginning to allow in this smile and this joy and this ease, this beauty, respect, crown chakra, sky blue, allowing myself to be that which I am. And in this layer of thought, everything begins to appear, and you begin to recognize other aspects of thought that just happen. Just happen. Like an apple, boom, apple appears. You're going to start to find, as you give attention to this environment that's becoming very tangible, and more starting to find it, it begins to be pretty amazing. Amazing, that's a lovely word. I feel amazing. Try that on. Now, would you just kind of notice You're in a different layer of awareness, of thought. But see, here is that telepathy opens up, as that clairvoyance opens up, as access to who you are outside of the third dimensional game begins to present. You begin to remember yourself, recreate yourself, realign yourself, rewire yourself, re-know yourself. Oh, it just happens. There's no work. Smiles might be required. Oh, you way over there with the spinach in your teeth. That's okay. It's acceptable. No problem. See, because you can be nothing but acceptable. There is no other choice. We try hard at being unacceptable, but that's over there. Now, there's another consideration here which will sound very strange. But as that wavelength kind of rises up and then drops down, rises back up, that coherent wavelength, the one that happens here with no edges on it. This will be a funny comment, funny, strange comment, but there are no straight lines. You see, as this wave happens, it begins to rotate and it revolves. And one aspect of that wave revolves to the right, and another aspect revolves to the left, and it's creative. One is ascending, opening possibilities, opportunities, expanding. The other simply is completing and releasing and going back into that bottom point of the wave where everything that has been begins to be in a state of inertia, in a state of nothing moving. It's not lost, it's just simply not engaged. It simply is without purpose at that moment. And as it begins to rise back up, there's a new thought. And the new thought has the capacity to draw from that state of inertia, that state where there's everything that ever has been is available for creation in new combinations and new flows and new patterns, and because that's how creation happens. Another breath. Now, for a moment, we just take another breath again and just notice yourself. Notice yourself noticing yourself. This is not notice yourself in regard to the room you're in regard to the chair you're sitting. No, notice yourself. I am a creative being sitting quietly in joy, being present, allowing myself choice. It's in neutral. I'm not looking to the left or right. I'm not looking up or down. I'm simply right here. Very much right at the center point of everything that exists. I am right here. I am. You see, this is that I am with infinite possibilities, infinite opportunities, all within this confine of one with Source, Creator. Creator and I are one. Right here. And I am creating new creation. That's the task of a creator being. New breath. Now, in this environment, what would you like to add? What would you like to experience? What would you like to reflect to all others so that they may see themselves where they may have forgotten by looking at you? Kind of just one vibration. And in this field, there's beauty and smile and laughter and dignity, respect, gratitude. There is everything that flows without limitations. Would you pick a vibration that you would like to wear, you would like to be, you would like to reflect, you would like to provide for all others to see what I am? And then giggle on the side, giggling. That's an advanced technique, giggling, but it's acceptable here, giggling. Would you just be that beauty, that dignity, that respect, that word, that vibration? Would you feel it inside? Would you be it? Kind of breathe it in and exhale out. Oh, geez, that's that ascending, descending, that in breath of being that, and that exhale of being that, providing to others to experience. Now, it's just providing. It's just as if you're laying it before them. They may see it. They may miss it. They may choose. They may become. But see, right here, this is that aspect of you in this space of broadband telepathy, simply saying, here is what I am. And there it is. It's not you have to, this is how you have to be. No, none of that. It's just here. I am this aspect of beauty, of well-being. One with the Creator, creating with the Creator, reflecting back to the Creator what the Creator is. And then would you maybe pick a second word, another feeling, another passion maybe, that in this environment that we are building, this new realm, for all that have been in the third dimensional experience in all that is, because it's far more than on the earth. Here is a light that I'm placing on the candlestick so all in the room may see their way into this new realm. Another breath, and would you just notice that little sliver of information? Placing the candles on the candles, the light on the candlestick for all in the room to see. Has an interesting ring to it, an interesting color to it, an interesting feeling to it, because that's the 100% for me being provided 100% service to all others, co-creating. And in this new realm, there's beauty. In this new realm of form, this fifth dimensional form, very much the earth, without the fear, without the domination, position, greed, not here. This is the environment of the new realm in ease. And right here, would you be one with ease, relaxed, comfortable? I'm not in a room, I'm not anywhere in particular, I'm right here in this layer of thought, creating my wanting in this fourth aspect of time, allowing everything unlike the beauty that I am to fall away effortlessly. And with this next breath, there's a contentment, there's a comfortableness, there's an excitement, and there's the word yes. You just feel the yes. This is who I am. This is what I'm about. This is the energy I am now experiencing myself. And would you be pleased with yourself? I like me. And right here at this point, one of those ascending lines will continue to expand and grow and provide new possibilities, new excitements, new opportunities. And the other one will begin to be complete, and it will begin to dissolve, evaporate, begin to be allowed to disappear, in a manner of speaking. It will begin to have less and less draw, less and less magnetism, less and less attention. As you walk right here up to that next park bench, just right up here, right at the edge of the next octave of opportunity. You see, you're right on time. And from here, that expansion, that beauty just continues to expand. So one more breath, if you would. Pleased with yourself. I like me. Very clearly owning the statement, I like me. And then as we begin to move to the place of opening our eyes, the place of getting up to walk around our day, can you simply hold your attention right on this space, I like me, everything you've just created. And as you open your eyes in a moment now, would you simply hold this energy rather than going back to what was in that room? when you sat down. Now, right here, a couple more breaths. Feel them. Be one with that inhale, and then simply the exhale, allowing everything that was. And there's a smile here as you sit on this next park bench. No hurry to get up, to move around. But if you will hold this, it's beginning to be an entirely different magnetic field that is very coherent, smooth, simple. Way back when Jesus, Yeshua, spoke, he said, "The meek shall inherit the earth." In 3D, that is interpreted to the weak. But Yeshua spoke in Aramaic, not in English, French, Spanish. And in Aramaic, the word meek translates to simple. The simple, uninvolved focus of, yes, this is who I am, begins to magnetize this step just taken. So another breath, and maybe sit here for a few moments with yourself before you get up and walk away. And when you get up and walk away, would you see if you can get up and just walk from where you are into the next room without losing this focus or changing your attention point. And then continue. Let us step away. We've enjoyed playing right here with you. We will expand on this in the next session, which is next week, and enjoy the shifting of change, because you're at that point where the acceleration on one hand of joy, the deceleration of that which is not so much, is right now. Blessings.